Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. This is Franz, Sidney speaking, and this is, of course, Create with Franz. So welcome to our channel and to our podcast. And as you can see, if you are in the YouTube channel, you will notice that we're here with how would you call it, a very eminent guest. So that's Dr. Ardeshir Mehran. Did I spell this correctly?
Perfectly, thank you.
So excited. And so Dr. Mehran is many things, a psychology, a researcher, and he works in the LA area, in Los Angeles area, Great Bay Area, I think.
San Francisco.
San Francisco, I got it all wrong. But for us in England, it's all the same, it's here and there. Somewhere in the sunshine, over here with -2 is lovely there. So welcome to the show. We're so happy to have you because today you're going to help us, and especially you guys, the audience, to learn a little bit more about depression. And, for many years, we've been told that, from a mainstream media, that depression is a chemical imbalance. You have to take this antidepressant and suddenly everything's going to be magnificent. But even talking yesterday to one of my old clients, she was telling me 5 years of antidepressants. She didn't get any better. So why antidepressants don't work? That is not the question for the topic that we're talking about today. But we would like to go straight to the beginning and see what is the root cause. And before that, we go to the tip of the iceberg. What are the symptoms? Because you guys have to understand depression is not quite an emotional imbalance 99% of the time. And it can happen to people who are actually doing really well in their life. They're not homeless, they're not chronically ill, they're not divorced, single moms. They are doing really well, and they are depressed. And one of these people is Dr. Mehran. So tell us how you were feeling when you realized, guys, I'm a psychologist, I'm actually depressed.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's a great question. In people who are doing very well, and they're very successful, depression, you don't see it. That's the dilemma of depression. They don't know, how they are feeling. And I'm inviting the audience, as I talk about depression, pay attention to yourself as you're sitting anywhere in the world. When I talk about depression, where in your body, mind, body, spirit, where do you feel it? And then think about these 2 words. Do you struggle? Do you suffer with depression or from depression? There's a way we think about depression. The semantics, the words do a trick to our mind. That's what happened. So clinically speaking, depression is seen as low energy, diminished thinking, pleasure, activity. You just basically, you get doing everything lower. It's almost like a car in second gear. That's clinical depression, psychiatrist. Depression is a sense of grieving, loss, and there's something not right in your life. Depression is a sense of waiting for someday, someone, somehow that you will be better, you'll be happier, you have better waistline, you better partner, better money. There's a sense of life on hold. In high achievers, that was me including, you don't see it because you're busy. You work to get your next car, next date, next office, next trip, and you wait for someday and you don't even know where to look at. And that's why you go get medication. You're restless. Many people go toward addiction. Addiction is the substitute and distraction. And the healing comes when you know what you are looking for. It's been inside you all along. You've been looking in the wrong neighborhoods. Depression, when people talk with me, Ardeshir, I'm depressed. Literally, people call me around the globe. And I go say, dear friend, depression means there are basic experiences in life you didn't get to have, you're not having right now. Once you know what they are, and I show you where they are, and how to find them, restore them, things will change for you. You will come home. You will be a lot better.
That's incredible. And that's quite a deep diving down into the problem, because we go straight to the root of this, because it doesn't matter how successful we are. We can be millionaires. We can look the part, but deep inside, if we have not reached what our purpose was in life, what we felt from the beginning, oh, I really like to live in this way, whatever this label could be, then we are living against our own values, and that creates depression, even if this happens because maybe abuse. Let's say if you've been abused, your values are crushed by somebody else. So that's how depression happens to lots of victims of neglect, abuse, torture, etc. And so when you were very successful and the top of your career and busy helping people as a psychologist, did you have already a solution for depression, or did you have to work on that?
Thank you. I didn't. And I was looking in all the wrong places. There's a country song that says looking for love in all the wrong places. So I went to 7 psychologists over the years. I went to a psychiatrist, took medication. I was a good patient. I want to stop for a second. There are people listening to this call, they're taking medications. Don't stop what you're doing. Don't stop your treatment. This is very important. So to your question, I didn't know what I was missing. So the work that I've done in my book, You're Not Depressed, You're Unfinished, it was when I changed a question in the depth of my struggle. Basically in 2012, I thought I will die. My question was, instead of how do I heal my depression, the question was, what is depression? What is anxiety? Those questions shifted me. I went on searching about depression, and depression is always goal-oriented. Depression is not a mood disorder. I went on a search, and that became the work that I'm bringing to the world. That is basically Depression Buster. That is about you finding you, as you said, your core, your value, your purpose. So this work, I struggled and found it one step at a time. And that I discovered that through my own struggle and coming out of it.
So it was not a one-day thing, but you had this illumination. And I was listening to your other podcast interview, so I do know a little bit more of you asking yourself these very important questions. Sometimes depression also masks the desire to live differently, but the lack of self-confidence to come out of that shell to reclaim what you really want to do in your life. Because, we might externally look amazing, but internally have a lot of things that are not quite where they should be. And we go to bed thinking, I'm just wasting my day. What's the point? Why I'm doing this? And I know that you created the Bill of Emotional Rights, and we can talk about a couple of principles today. How do they fit into this journey of healing?
Yeah, beautiful. The journey of healing. So the context of Bill of Emotional Rights, we humans, we are born literally biologically to experience 7 emotions through our lifetime, from birth to death. And these emotions create the foundation of wellness, being healthy, being grounded, being a person among others. Nobody's taught us that. Parents don't give these rights to us. And I call them rights literally with a lot of emphasis. These are almost like civic rights. Once you know those rights, they're just like foundation of a house. You can have a shaky foundation, or you can have a concrete, steel beams, that things can happen, but you're grounded in your essence of who you are. Doesn't mean you will have nirvana, bird singing, music playing, things will be okay. Still, you need to do work to make it happen, but you know where you stand. You know what matters to you. Like one of the rights is I belong. Are you in a relationship, in a community that there's love for you to receive and to give back? Many people, especially successful people, are isolated. In a room full of people, they are lonely. That's depression. That's what's coming, and they're waiting. So those rights are foundational. You can be like a Californian oak tree. Wind can come, earthquake can come, but you will sway with it, but you will be okay. So knowing those will save you, literally will save you.
I love the first one to say, I am.
I am.
I
Yes.
am. Why is
I
it
am.
important? I am is also a part of the Bible. You know, it's quoted that Jesus said,
That's
I
right.
am.
That's right.
I am
That's
who
right.
I am. What does
I
it
am.
mean in psychology terms when it comes to healing from depression and realizing that it's possible to eventually just be ourselves?
That's right. I am is one of the 7 needs, and it's the soul, your soul song, your soul voice, your soul ideas to bring to the world. Some of you have been taught that people with opinion are executives, the heads of the school, the mayors, the presidents, everybody, including children, they have an idea. Could be the goofiest, the stupidest idea, but it's their idea. It's your idea. Your idea needs to be heard. You can work on your presentation or your delivery, but your idea, when you say that, it's your soul song delivered to other souls. And it's your covenant. Don't give it away. Many people, I work in corporation, many people, they get tongue-tied. They get hesitant, or they talk about their I am, but their voice literally becomes a whisper. Or they just say, you know, can I say something? Are you okay if I say that? No, say it bluntly, truthfully as you are. I am is your connection. When you do that, your body feels strong. The reason I say body, this is important. Our body, where emotions are, they only listen to action. The words don't matter to body. Action, do something, say something, go away, come back, leave me, don't leave me, I love you, I hate you. Body only responds to action. So when we say I am, we do that, your body says somebody's at home, somebody's taking care of us. You will feel a person with a backbone.
Wow, time to think about this, right? And okay, I am. So do I go then next to I matter?
So they're wonderful. You know, I matter. You're a citizen in this world, 8 billion people on this earth. Whether you live uptown, downtown, you're a prince or you're a pauper, doesn't matter. Dignity, honor, respect is bestowed upon you. We love titles. We love people with big cars, big houses, you know, even the clothes you wear. In the space of emotional health, that's irrelevant. I working in corporation, you would see so many people invisible. They come to the room, conference room. Nobody turns around, have an eye contact with them. Literally eye contact, call their names. Hey, Barbara, Joe, come sit here. Great to see you. What do you think? We defer to people with head of the table. I matter is that you matter. Dignity, honor, respect bestowed upon you. And you don't have to fight for it. But that's not how society designed. We have to crawl to get I matter. Once we, you and me and listeners, turn that equation around, that creates health. That I'm amongst my people, my tribe.
So does that mean that in our society where we're quite exclusive, we have our little groups?
That's right.
We share groups. We exclude people all the time, don't we?
That's
if you
right.
are disturbing the class, you go outside. If you're not dressed the same as us, if you don't agree with everything we say, if we don't agree with our ideology or agenda or activism agenda, whatever, because we're very polarized, aren't we?
That's right.
In society. So it means that we are creating division because you don't agree. And instead of just saying agreeing to disagree, and you can still come with us and have a meal together, then we're like, oh, you are anti this, you're against that, you're pro this, and therefore we're not going to talk to you. And that makes people feel very isolated. So they need to comply with society, even if it doesn't align with their values, because otherwise, you know, we need to belong and to matter.
That's right. You mentioned a very key term, compliance. We learn as a way to get our needs met, to comply, to lose our voice, to please and appease. That destroys our uniqueness, our being. And society, all societies, they're based upon us versus them, even in the same neighborhood, that people who have better cars, people have like more humble cars. That's not how human as an organisms, as a being designed. You don't see it in animal kingdom. There will be tensions. We are designed to deal with tensions, harness the tension. But once we exclude people, no, you're not one of us, that creates emotional turmoil for us.
Yeah. And also it weakens the fabric of society, because society works better when we're all together. So everyone has a skill. So it's very deep work, and I do know that Ardeshu will be back here. So we have plenty of time to talk about a lot more stuff. So when you go to the next, I think is either I soar or I belong. I don't know which one. Should I do I belong? Because belong for me is a little bit similar to I matter, because I belong to something. We like to belong to a group, a society, a university, a work club. We want to belong to something. Otherwise, we are outsiders. So we feel we have no purpose. What is your view on that?
So the I belong is very central. It start from the moment of birth, even in the mother's womb, that you feel there's a sense of attachment, there's a sense of connection to another being. When we come to this earth, whether it's a mother or primary caregiver, we learn about our belonging from early interactions, the way we are looked at, the way we are held, the way our needs are met, the way we smile and somebody smiles back. By the way we see somebody looking at us as a child, as an infant, we get a sense at the very emotional tissue level that, am I welcome? Am I loved? Am I seen? If somebody's there for me, you will see in people, especially high achievers, there's a deep sense of isolation and loneliness. They're looking for someone. They're looking for just being seen. I belong goes around that I see you and I love you, care for you, and there's a sense of, there's the belongingness that goes to a sense of heart, an element of love. I matter is when we become member of a group, of a society, of a status, of an interaction. I belong goes to the attachment patterns. But do I feel comfortable being around you? Do you feel comfortable being around me? Do you see me? Can I just say that I love you? Like, we don't use the term I love you. We write it on postcards, but we have a darn hard time to say it and mean it. We don't know how to say, because we tell it to our dogs. I have a dog, a golden retriever. But when you talk with your spouse, I have a son, it gets weird. How do you show love? I belong. It goes to the heart of, it's an affair of the heart.
Yes, and I totally understand, because in my Italian culture, although I've been in England almost 30 years, in Italy you have ti voglio bene, I'm fond of you, which you say to everyone that you're fond of, not to just everyone. And then you have ti amo, and ti amo is for the spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend. That's the end. So you wouldn't use ti amo because it's like a really precious, what you said.
Yeah, I love that.
And you get really embarrassed of saying I love you. When I came to England and everyone is like, I love you, I love you. I just met you, I love you. It's like, what's going on with this country? They just love you. They just use you like,
Yeah. We put in candies, we put in a bottle
I
of
love
beer
you.
or
I'm like,
wine.
wow, 10 minutes, they're already in love. But actually, no, they totally see it in a different way. Like, you want to give as much as possible of this word. Well, in Italy, you want to give as little as possible.
Yeah. This is so powerful, Franz, what you say. In this society, the work that I do with my clients is going about self-compassion and self-love. And at the beginning, say, how do you show self-love for yourself? Men and women says, I go shopping. I go get nice clothes for myself. I go get a better handbag or shoes and a better tie. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that's not love. That's distraction. Just even having self-love for me, or showing you that I love you, or get you a box of candy, or get you a box of Dom Perignon. We haven't been taught and been comfortable. How do you show love? And the power of saying that from heart to heart. This is a very untrained, unused skill in our societies.
Maybe we should be classes in the schools instead of telling us all about intimacy. Tell us about love. Right. What is love? Because I don't think people actually know what it is.
Exactly. And we overcomplicate that. We overcomplicate that. Our habit is like a muscle we haven't trained because we haven't been demonstrated that what it looks like.
Yeah, I really had to rephrase myself. I don't want to mean at all that people don't know what love is. People know what love is. It's how we are teaching our children to express this properly in a proper and appropriate manner for their age. That is somehow missing in many Western society, where the word becomes just like, I don't know, something that's totally lost the meaning.
That's right. That's right. Even on LinkedIn, I'm active on LinkedIn, and I see wonderful colleagues, very credentialed, very popular courses about how to express your emotion, how to express love, like for your partners. I'm thinking, so that has become a learnable skill. Things we didn't learn back then where we were raised in our societies. To the point we need to get trainings and people being certified as coaches to teach that. I'm thinking, okay, this doesn't sound right. Good for those people doing well, doing their work, but it's backward.
It's because we forget. I remember after lockdown, the Japanese were having lessons on how to smile because they've been wearing masks for so long. They forgot. So they're like, straight face.
That's right.
And
well
the
said.
human expression is so important. If you see a person that is serious, you think, oh my gosh, there's something wrong. But when they're smiling, you're so open to them and talk and think, okay, I can deal with this person. And so we are understanding their mood by seeing the whole face. Yeah.
Yes.
So children are now delayed. The little babies who were born in 2020, they were developmentally delayed. Why? Because
that is so right. So right. So right.
Expression.
This is something as a society we need to deal with that in upcoming years. You're right.
Yeah. So it's important to see all the aspects. So depression, obviously, we can talk about it for several weeks. You can be our monthly guest.
I would love it. I'll be honored.
And so these are 3 principles. Then we are like 27 minutes. So if you were now with my audience, and let's say that some people in my audience might be suffering from depression in this very moment, and they lost all the hope to get better.
Yeah.
What are maybe 1 or 2 things they can do today to start the journey to change their situation?
Wonderful. The very first thing is depression and life and knowledge of healing happens 1 millisecond at a time. As a psychologist, I was trained, you need to spend time getting to know what happened to your mom and dad, this and, past, as we to know. It's all interesting, irrelevant. We are designed as being to live in this very moment each time. So as you're dealing with depression or anxiety, I invite you at this moment, put your left hand on your belly, your right hand on your chest and lungs, and just take slow breath. And let your body and your 5 senses to pay attention to wherever you are and see the world around you. What this does to bring you to become the queen or king of your own being. The world is not out there. The world is within you. Number 2, as you're doing this and you're breathing and letting your body just be as relaxed as possible, notice where your thoughts go. You don't have to push anything. Depression and the way to come out of it comes to us a series of longing, yearning, energy. I wish there was somebody answered my email. I wish somebody loved me. I wish I had more purpose. See what comes up for you, just energy. Energy is wisdom. And whatever comes, don't judge it, don't categorize it, don't criticize it. It's a gift. Let it like a river go further. What's behind that? What's behind that? Let me allow it time to happen. Depression comes to you as answer or invitation. Just go have a sip of coffee, go take a nap, do something. Once you come to yourself, follow the next step, follow the next step. That's how you find your way back. Doing something that is good for you right this moment, as you are, wherever you are.
Profound words. I could just close the episode right now. Thank you so much, Ardeshir. So good, so simple, and yet sometimes we don't do it. And we start with small steps, don't we?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this time. It was a blessing, Franz, to be with you.
Yeah, no, it's a blessing for me to have you over, and I'm sure the audience will be like, have him back, have him back.
I'll be honored.
Yeah,
I'll be honored.
It will be so good to talk about and talk about more about depression, and then we might go into all this the story and make, incomplete, etc., so that we can really delve through the real meaning of who we are as a human being, because we're not really here to live in the past. The past has happened. We can talk about it with a friend, we can talk about it with a therapist once, process it, and then put it away. The past is gone. You cannot do anything about it. And just venting all day about what happened to you and what they've done to you and how bad it was, it just doesn't help anyone.
That's right. Exactly. And that's what psychology hasn't taught us, that we spend so much time. I went to school, was so much about past analysis. It's interesting. In terms of healing, totally irrelevant. It's totally irrelevant. We heal 1 millisecond at a time. In fact, biologically, this is important. We are designed to be reborn every moment, to recreate, almost the way scratched skin, wounded skin regenerates. Our mind, our emotions designed like that. Psychology, in some way, got it backward. Understanding doesn't mean healing. Healing happens one step at a time, creating what is coming up, what are you noticing, taking action on.
Yeah, maybe we will have a whole episode on what's the difference between what we're taught at school, say at university, when you learn psychology from the book, and what is actually happening in the real world.
I love that.
People learn in different ways and healing without having been to a psychologist. And also because I remember some of my past clients and some of the past clients of my own colleagues, they said, oh, I've done CBT for years, I've done psychotherapy for years, and I'm exactly there. I haven't moved one inch. Now I know what's going on. I know what's going on, but I'm still there with the problem. Like, there's something wrong with this model, but I can't work out what it is.
That is so important, because what you just said. Even the term mental illness scientifically is incorrect. There's nothing mental about it. Mental illness, mental well-being, this happens in our entire body. Emotions are in the body, and body only lives in the moment. Body has no memory. So we spend a lot of time understanding things, but has nothing to do with healing. In fact, what we know from neurology, brain follows the body. In school, they teach us body follows the brain. We got things backwards. So this is something I say delicately, and I know some psychiatrists write me very pointed letters, I shall say, said, you don't know what you're talking about. And I would tell them, history will tell that we are designed for healing. Understanding doesn't equate to healing. Healing has its own routine that is simpler.
Yeah. And we need to close now because the time will come and we're going to be cut off, which is, I really hate this. But it was great to get started on this big discussion about depression. And we hope that we have been of help to all of you guys listening to this episode. And please, if you like it, please click like, share with a friend, subscribe to the channel, write a good review, whatever. And also you can find Dr. Mehran in ardeshirmehran.com. We can find his bill of emotional rights and much more. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Franz, to be with you and with your audience. That stay healthy. You can do it. You do not need to suffer.
Yeah, you can do. You can do. Thank you, and take care, and see you all. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.